Quick. Welcome, you guys. Hello, hello. I see folks joining. Lots of folks joining. So let's just jump in. Okay, so today's going to be a nice video. I get to just relax and give myself a nice lymphatic drainage massage while you guys watch. I'm going to do this video slowly. At a normal pace, a regular pace that you would do this treatment so that you can follow along. This video also, all of our videos get saved on our live videos page. So you can come back, re-watch this whenever you'd like, and you can follow along to get a nice little lymphatic drainage treatment. So what the heck is lymphatic drainage? So our lymphatic system is part of our body's waste removal system. It actually helps process out bad bacteria, viruses, toxins. It is a system that covers our entire body, and our lymph system moves lymph, which is moving this bacteria, viruses, to lymph nodes. At the lymph nodes, this is where we have white blood cells that get to work killing that bad bacteria and viruses. So this means that having that drainage system, that detox system working in a healthy order is very important for keeping away bad bacteria, virus, keeping our skin healthy and our bodies healthy as well. Sometimes our lymphatic system can slow down. Something that can cause this is an injury. An injury in the body can create a blockage that can keep flowing from happening, but it can also happen from stagnation, not enough exercise. It can also be very slowed down by dehydration. If you don't have enough water and hydration in your body, your lymph gets thicker and it is not able to efficiently move around in your body. So those are some key ways you can easily speed it up. Is start getting some exercise. Even just a 20-minute brisk walk can really help boost your lymphatic system. Once a day, a 20-minute brisk walk. Start there. That's a great place to start. And make sure you're drinking enough water. Staying hydrated. Avoid over drinking alcohol because that causes dehydration. Those are all important things for your lymphatic system. We can also help move along our lymphatic system. So a component to your lymphatic system is fascia. So fascia is all of these little connected tissues that are really holding everything together. It's holding your skin to your bones, and all of your kind of fat and tissues is all being held together by this fascia. But fascia can get tense and balled up, especially when you get an injury. Part of that injury is this fascia gets all pinned up and can create pain. A lot of people with neck pain find that fascia release is really helpful. So this is not only moving along lymph in our system, we're also going to be loosening up that fascia that keeps everything moving, keeps things from being all hard and tightened up and crispy. We're just gonna loosen everything up. And we're gonna do this in an acne-safe way. So if you have very inflamed acne that is painful to the touch, I'm going to give you modifications to this treatment. There are some things that you don't want to do if you have very inflamed, grade 3 or 4, which is fairly severe acne that is painful to the touch. When you touch your pimples, they hurt. I'm going to give you some modifications. If you have non-inflamed acne, you can do this treatment without any modifications. If you just have 1 or 2 pimples here and there, you're just going to want to avoid putting direct pressure right over that pimple because you don't want to be spreading that bacteria. So kind of be aware of those things when we're doing this treatment. But for the most part, this treatment is really great for those who do get breakouts, especially hormonal acne. We've been talking about hormonal acne a lot. I've done 2 separate hormonal acne videos in the last month. And the lymphatic system also helps detox excess hormones and negative hormones in the skin. So, boom, hormonal acne, those excessive hormones that are causing that increase in androgen hormones, which causes an increase in sebum production. We can help balance that out, remove those excess hormones by making sure our lymphatic system is healthy and moving in the way that it should be moving. So, I know that was a lot of information, but let's just do this treatment. So, tools. For my tool, I am going to be using an Anma. What I like about the Anma is it has these fingers, as we like to call them, on this side, which is really helpful for that fascia release that we were talking about. Those are those little crispy fascia that we want to soften and make our lymph be able to move easier. The other part of the tool that I'm using is the handle. And a lot of people overlook the handle. They just use this part, but the handle is one of my favorite parts of this device because the handle is like your gua sha, your scraping tool. This is what is gonna help do that scraping motion to move lymph. So I'm gonna be using the fingers and the handle. If you don't have something like this at home and you wanna do this treatment today, you can use your hands. Absolutely, just use your hands kind of mimicking these motions. So when we're doing the fascia movements, you would use your knuckles. And then when we're doing scraping movements, you would use the sides of your hand. So you can kind of use your hand like this to do like a scraping movement. You can also use the tops of your fingers as well to do this same scraping movement. Nina, yes, this is live. Ask any questions you have, ask them now, because when I take my glasses off, I won't be able to do any more questions until the end. So yeah, again, scraping movement can be used with the flats of your fingers. I know sometimes this can be uncomfortable, especially if you have issues with your bones, your hands. That's why the Anma can be really helpful. You don't have to use that pressure on your fingers, but that option is always there to just use your hands. If you have a more traditional gua sha at home, again, you can totally use that too. Traditional gua shas don't really have these teeth. Some of them do actually, but most don't have these little teeth. So in that case, you would just be using the edge of your gua sha, and remember that you're not pressing hard. You're just using very light pressure. We're not digging into the muscle. We are gently moving the lymph, which is just under your skin. So know that you don't have to use a lot of pressure. Oh, I got some questions in here. Good. I'm glad you guys are asking them now before I be blinded without my glasses. Andrea, we are not going to do the body today, but I love that as possibly a future video. We're just going to be focusing on this upper part of the body coming down to around here. So Nina, you didn't miss too much. I just covered what lymph is. Lymph is this fluid that is part of our waste system. It helps remove toxins, disease, bacteria, virus through our body. Moving that lymph to a lymph node, which I will go into where our lymph nodes are, gets them to your white blood cells. Your white blood cells get to work killing off that bad bacteria and battling the viruses. Jill is wondering, is it better to use a tool rather than your hands? So it's really preference. I just feel like I can work better with a tool. With your hands, it can be a little harder to get that even pressure of kind of that mimics that scraping move where you're pushing across, but you can still do this with your hands. I just like using a tool. I feel like it's easier, and it's a little easier on my fingers and hands. My hands don't get sore, so it's really up to you. Hey Joseph, Anma Lift, does it do a better job at lymphatics? I use it but don't understand how it works better than the standard Anma Lift. Yes, so a future video we will go into that tool, but the Anma Lift, let me show it to you guys. I think I have it right here. The Anma Lift is the same as the Anma tool in design, in shape, but it has these microcurrent, I'm blanking on the word for them, these microcurrent nodes along here, and you would use it with your MyoLift devices or your TriWave device, and you would use it with the Rejuve setting, which is for lymphatic drainage. So you would actually do the same moves that I'm going to do today, but with the Anma Lift plugged into your TriWave. So Joseph, when you're watching this, you can follow along and do this same exact treatment with the Rejuve setting on with your Anma Lift. So I hope that was helpful. It is definitely gonna be a better lymphatic drainage treatment because you have that microcurrent that is going to be helping stimulate that lymph drainage. So it's like your boosted treatment. Okay, let's see if I missed anything else. Becky, about how long for each part does it matter? So I like to do 6 moves on each area, or 6 of each move. And so we're gonna jump into that. And I'm gonna do this slowly. So I know probably if you're not doing it with me, it might seem a little slow, but I'm gonna do this slowly so you guys can come back, rewatch this video. It will be saved on our live videos tab, and you can do this treatment along with me. I find it's easier to follow along, especially the first few times that you're doing this. So let's get started. So we covered tools, things that you can use to do this treatment, but you'll need something to create slip. Without slip, you're not really, you can kind of, actually this tool is quite slippery. You can get a little bit of slip with this tool, but there's a little bit of tugging and discomfort. So my personal favorite way to add slip to the skin is using my cleansing oil. The Orgate cleansing oil is the one I'm using today. This is an acne-safe cleansing oil. I like it because when you add water, it suds's up and it rinses completely clean. So you're not left with any oily residue, and it's not difficult to remove after your treatment. You can use any acne-safe oil as long as it's giving you that slip that you need to glide across the skin without any harsh tugging or having to really dig into the skin. So that's why my preference is the cleansing oil. Oftentimes I actually do this treatment during my first cleanse in the evening. It's just a nice way to tie my quick lymphatic drainage routine into my cleansing routine. So love this one. If you like the Michelle Corley cleansing oil, that one also works well for this as well. So I'm gonna take my glasses off, so I apologize. It's gonna be harder to see questions until the end, but at the end I will absolutely tuck back and get any questions that came through. So first things first, I'm putting on my lovely Tassie. I'm about to look very cute. Get this on here. This one's kind of loosened up. Someone was wearing this who had more hair than me. Okay. I'm gonna tuck all my hair in so that you guys can have a clear view of what I'm doing. So step one is we want to start getting the lymph flowing. If we have any blockages in our lymph or places that it's slowing down, we don't want to all of a sudden start removing all of this lymph without it being able to freely flow to our lymph nodes. So our lymph nodes on our upper part of our body here are here, and then there's one about halfway down in here, but it's a little harder to reach. So the places that we're going to be draining to are here and then down in here. This is a major drainage area, so this is our ultimate goal when we're doing lymph drainage, to get it down in here. You can kind of feel it's kind of a sensitive area. That is where major lymph nodes are happening. So let's start with just releasing the area. First though, let's put on some cleanser. Take off my glasses. Now I'm very blind. Hopefully I don't go cross-eyed. So this is my daily cleansing oil. I really like this one. It just smells nice. I do 2 pumps when I do this treatment because I'm gonna bring it down onto my neck. And I'm probably gonna get my shirt a little oily. Sometimes that happens if you're really going for it. So if this was my nighttime first cleanse, I would do my oil cleanse for a minute before I start on my lymphatic drainage massage. But today, let's just get right into it. So spreading this oil all over, all the way down into my chest. Then I'm just gonna dry my hands off real quick because it's easier to hold my tool that way. This cleansing oil smells like a spa. I really like it. Okay, so going in with the Anma, we are going to start by just getting things flowing. So the first move that I always like to start with is just get the lymph flowing down my neck towards my drainage point. So I'm gonna start on the side of the neck, and with even pressure but not hard, you don't want to be digging into your skin at all. We're just gonna do 6 passes right down the side of the neck. Then let's push that lymph further down into our armpit. So that was 6 of each of those moves. Then let's get the other side. And bringing that down. Okay, now we've got some drainage going. Sometimes when you're doing that and you swallow at the same time, you'll actually feel there's like stuff coming down. It's kind of a gnarly feeling. So we got some blood flowing. I like to start with that as my opener, just get things starting to flow. Now we're gonna loosen up our fascia, get some blood flowing. So I'm gonna flip to the finger side of my anma, or just use your fingers, like your knuckles, and we're just gonna go like this. And remember, we're not pushing hard. We're actually gonna see my skin turn a little pink as we get blood flowing without me using very much pressure. I'm just lightly gliding over the skin, getting blood flow, massaging our facial muscles. If you're using your fingers, you're just using those knuckles, massaging along. Not digging in any way. We don't want to be digging into our skin at all with this movement. Loosen up those lip muscles. You can kind of play with these bigger fingers up on your forehead. Some people have bigger foreheads than others. I have a tiny little forehead, so it's harder to get with the fingers. This part just feels really nice. Oh, I forgot to mention one important note. When you're doing lymphatic drainage, I recommend drinking a tall glass of water before and after, because remember that hydration is very key to a healthy lymphatic system. And it will also help with your body's detoxing. So if you're loosening up a bunch of toxins, bacteria, virus that are now moving to your lymph nodes are working on killing that off. Water is very helpful for that. Okay, feeling pretty good. I think we are ready to go. Okay, so when we start doing our lymphatic drainage, I'm going to start from the top to the bottom because remember that we're getting that lymph going and it's ultimately draining down here. So by starting from the top to the bottom, it's kind of like, you know, when you're like cleaning the kitchen and you start from the top and then you do the floors last, because otherwise you end up with a bunch of dirt on the floor. That's a silly way to think about it, but it works for me. I want to start from the top, get things moving, and finish down at the bottom. So our first move is the forehead. So the forehead, I have a very small forehead, but for some people this will be more comfortable. But for the forehead, I'm just really using the upper top of this handle to drain to about here at my temple. So starting here, draining down to our temple. So I'm gonna do 6 of those. So that was 6. Now we're going to do the eye. So how I like to do this is, again, I'm using that same edge and I'm going gently over the eye. So I'm not applying pressure on my eyeball. The pressure is only hitting my eyebrow and my orbital bone. Let's do that 6 times. We'll start over because I kind of wasn't counting. So that was 6. And my skin, actually, that area is actually a little tender for me right now because I've had really bad allergies. And you'll notice that when your sinuses are clogged or you have a lot of allergies, you can be tender along these sinus areas. And that's actually really helpful to do this treatment to help start to move out that stagnation. So we did the eye. Let's go down to the cheek. So again, we're just using that handle and we're just gonna gently glide outward. So there was 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's move down to the lower face. I like to just hit kind of right here. So starting right at the end of the mouth. There we go. And then for the jawline, this is where this tool comes in a lot of handy, but if you don't have my tool to do your jawline, you are going to use one finger folded over like this, and then your thumb out. And you're going to cup, if you can see that, you're going to cup your jaw and lightly squeeze and pull back. Cup it, lightly squeeze and pull back. With the Anma, we're going to cup it. So we'll just on either side of your jawline and back. Let's do 6. Now we've got all this stuff coming in here, so we're gonna do one more on the neck and down. So starting just after your throat here, and out and down. Oops, I wasn't counting, oh no. Okay, I think that was 4, 5, and 6. So that movement was really just pulling up, and then just feel like, kind of picture yourself kind of gathering any lymph that's gathered and pulling it downward. So to finish this side off, let's pull any down to that major lymph node underneath our armpit. There we go. So that is that side done. Let's jump to the other side. Okay, so we're gonna start up on the forehead. And again, I just use the top part of this. Then we're gonna move to over the eye. So again, using the back across the eye like this. If that is not comfortable for you with the Anma, some folks find that with their particular eye shape, their face shape, they prefer to use these fingers. So, sorry, I should have mentioned that before, but for some people's eye shape, that is more comfortable. For my eye shape, it's more comfortable to use this edge. So that is up to you and if you have the Anma or not. So then moving on to the upper cheeks. We're gonna really make sure you're getting right into the side of your nose and pulling from there. So you don't wanna start halfway through the cheek, you wanna get right up there next to the nose and pull. So let's start. Now we're moving on to the underneath the cheek here, starting at the outside of the mouth. Oops, I wasn't counting. Oh no, I'm terrible at this. When I'm at home, I'm sure I do crazy numbers. If you're one off, your body won't mind. Your body's not counting. Okay, so let's get that jawline. Again, if you're using your fingers, just tuck up, squeeze, and pull up. I'm gonna use the Anma. And then now let's get that really nice, this is one of my favorite movements, kind of starting right about here and coming up and pulling that lymph downward. If you have a tense neck, that feels so good. If you have a tense neck, this is just so lovely for it. So then let's do our final drain down to our major lymph node. And you can be really gentle over this bone. If anything, I'm kind of lightening pressure a little bit when I go up and over my bone. You don't have to dig in and hurt yourself. So that was it. So now if you want to, you can kind of loosen up any fascia on your chest. I have a bony chest, so this isn't the most comfortable, but Gina really likes to do this. So kind of getting that blood flowing on your chest. Everything is really flowing. If you have concerns with a lot of tension around your lip lines, this is when you can go and you can just do a little release around your lip lines. But really, we've completed our treatment. So let me get this oil off my skin and we can jump into some questions. So let me do a quick, so sometimes people will say, well, that was way too much for a nightly routine. I do this probably every other day, but if you want to simplify this routine, you just want it to be a simple routine, you can either kind of do less. Well, actually, yeah, you can do less movements for each one. So you would do 3 to 4 passes instead of the full 6 if you just want to do a light little treatment. Or you can just make sure you're hitting the major areas, which is draining here, draining across the eyes, draining the cheeks, and then getting that jaw and neck. So if you want to really simplify, just get in there, drain the eyes, drain these across the cheeks, get that jaw. You do that move where you go across the jaw and then down. And that's gonna really create a difference as well. That's still a totally doable routine that'll work well for you. So let me grab a towel and get this cleanser off so I can put my glasses back on. That's your guys' questions. So by the way, if you guys haven't seen these yet, these are our new eco towels. These are biodegradable towels made from eucalyptus. And it is a great way to keep bacteria off your skin because a lot of our towels, even though we wash them, are full of bacteria. So I'm just going to use this to remove my oil cleanser. Nice and simple and straightforward. I did have some sunscreen on, so I'm going to have to reapply after this. Oil off my lips. We got a lot of blood flowing and probably a little pink, and that is good. Blood carries oxygen and nutrients, which is amazing for our skin cells and our just collagen, everything loves that. Okay, I'm just gonna dry my face off. I feel very relaxed right now. That's usually part of my nighttime routine, so my body is like, okay, yeah, that was our nighttime routine. I'm very relaxed now. Okay, I didn't miss any questions. I'm glad you guys got your questions in before I took my glasses off and couldn't see anything. But I would love for you guys to let me know how this treatment was. Amy's asking if I don't have an anma, can I use fingers? Absolutely. So if you need to rewatch this video, you can see I gave some different things you can do with your fingers. So for that jaw move that I do, you're just going to be using your one finger like this and your jaw underneath, and you're just going to softly squeeze as you pull. When you're doing the fascia release step, you just use your knuckles. You can totally use your fingers. I like using a tool because it's just a little easier for me. It's easier to hold, and I just get a lot of coverage in every area. Whereas with the fingers, there's only so much coverage you can make, but you can absolutely use your hands. Janie's asking, what can I use instead of the organic oil? So yes, so the Orgade oil that I use, this is an acne safe cleansing oil that I like. You can use any oil or product that gives you slip. So, you know, there's massage creams out there. If you don't have issues with breakouts, you could use a massage cream, something that's going to give you slip. that's not going to dry out. So if you have to like re-wet it in the middle of your treatment, that can be a little awkward. So any sort of oil that stays slippery, I prefer my cleansing oil because it's so easy to remove because it has surfactants in it. So as soon as I add water, those surfactants get activated and I can just rinse it away. So that's just why I like to use it. You can also use, if you like, the Michelle Corley Pore Cleansing Oil, that also can be used. That's really fabulous as well. So there's some different options for you. I hope some of those will work for you. Okay, any other questions, you guys? Yes, Janie, this is an acne safe cleansing oil. They use acne safe oils in this, and it rinses away completely because of these surfactants in it. So it's not gonna leave any oily residue on your skin. So Joseph's wondering, if you lay down or lean back to relax while doing this, will it take away from the point of drainage? So as long as you're a little bit tilted up, you know, your heart beats pretty strongly and it's moving things around, it's still gonna fuel that. But definitely if you are standing up or you are slightly elevated from a flat landing place, obviously gravity is going to give you some help. So it's up to you though. If you really want to lay flat, you could still do it, but you might get better benefit if you're propped up with pillows or just in a upright position. Thank you, Janie. I'm glad this was helpful for you. I hope you guys can come back, follow along. Once you've done it a couple times or even once following the video, it starts to all make sense because you can just kind of picture how you're first opening up those drainage points and then just starting from the top to the bottom, working your way down, moving the lymph out to the sides of your face and then draining down the sides of your neck and down. Once you start picturing that, it all kind of makes sense. So you just don't want to be massaging in the wrong direction. So you don't want to be massaging towards your mouth because your drainage points come out and down. So make sure you're draining out and down. Make sure you're not, massaging upward. There's kind of a myth out there that you should only massage your face upward because otherwise it will cause your face to droop. But that's not true unless you're really, really tugging on your face. You're not gonna have that. We are just gliding over the skin with our tools. It's why we have, the oil on our skin to give us that slip, and we are moving that lymph down and out. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I hope you guys try this. If you are watching this later after it's been recorded and it's not live anymore and you have questions, please reach out to our customer service team. We have a live chat on our website from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But if you reach out outside of that window, you can email us. It is glow@artifskincare.com. And we love to answer your guys' questions and help you guys. So please reach out if you have questions, but happy lymphatic drainage.